Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it.
Go.
Oh, I'm starting this?
Oh, you always do.
Yeah, but you're the master engineer with this stuff.
No, there's nothing different. It's you.
It's horrible. I hate
think
video.
we should also leave this in the front of the podcast.
Absolutely. We started.
Well, all right, well, then start.
Well, I'm starting.
Who are you? What is this?
I was hoping you would do that.
No.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing RV on video.
On video, remote, God, technology is beautiful, isn't it?
What are you drinking there?
Coffee in my favorite aunt mug. Can you see it? It says my favorite aunt.
I see that. I was a little confused. That's very,
my wife.
Very feminine.
That's my wife. I just grabbed it. I don't really care what it looks like. I grabbed it from the cabinet. No big deal.
Well, cheers. I'm drinking Delco Crack.
Love it. Oh yeah, tea cooler. Nobody knows what tea cooler is outside. If you're listening from outside if you're listening from outside of PA, you have no idea what tea cooler is. Or maybe you do. I don't know where Swiss Farms is, but
Swiss Farms is only in Delaware County. I don't know why it hasn't extended out. They really need to start franchising. My God, that could be a whole episode. We ought to get them on.
I don't know. They just closed the one in Media. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, something's not right there because the one in Springfield, the sign's dilapidated, and I don't get that,
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. I don't know. Maybe
so
for getting out of business.
For people watching, for decades, Swiss Farm has been a thing. It's a drive-through milk store. So it was wonderful when I had little kids because every day I had to go in there and get a gallon of milk. Would go through it like crazy. But milk, eggs, bread, all your basic stuff, great place. If there's a forecast for storm, the car line is out to the street.
It just sounds weird. They saw all that stuff. Sounds weird. A drive-through milk store? It's weird.
The best. Yeah, but think about it. When you have kids or when you just don't feel like getting out of the car, you need a dozen eggs, you need milk. So they sell all these other beverages, iced tea, lemonade, and they have what I thought was pretty original, their tea cooler, which was a combination of iced tea and lemonade. And it's awesome. And everybody I know, that drinks this, you get addicted to it. It's so sugary, and I water it down. This is actually light. This looks like a light beer.
It does actually look like a beer, yeah, a little bit. Well, except you got ice in it. I hope you're not putting ice in beer.
I don't drink beer, so.
That's your first flaw.
So, first of many.
Yeah, dealing with me, I'll get you drinking beer. Don't worry.
So I call this stuff this tea cooler Delco Crack. But then Swiss Farm a few years ago changed the name from tea cooler, which I thought was pretty unique, to lemonade tea.
Nah, but they changed it doesn't taste the same. They changed the recipe.
Do you think they did?
100%.
And then from what I understand, the Swiss product isn't owned by Swiss Farms, the store. And now that product, which was extending to some supermarkets, now is not in supermarkets. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's going to go away and probably would be good for my waistline if it does. So,
well, Swiss Farms, if you're out there listening, call us and get on this podcast to explain your problems.
Yeah, geez, that was like a 5-minute commercial for them.
It really was. It really was. I haven't done Swiss Farms
since you moved out of Delaware County.
Since I stopped smoking pot. Yeah, that's been 25 years.
I hope so, because I don't want to be partnered with a pothead.
Nah, I can't do it. It makes me go to bed. Can't do it.
As I tell everybody, there's a reason they call it dope, Gene.
Oh, wait, there's a reason why you call me a dope? Is that what you said?
No, there's a reason they call pot dope.
Oh, I got it.
It makes you dopey.
Well,
dopey.
Listen, you better move over because it's becoming legal everywhere.
Well, I still don't think it should, but that's another story.
Well, I think all the time it's like, would you rather have Gene stoned or drinking? And the answer probably in most cases is stoned.
Why? What's the difference?
It's less. I think it's certainly less harmful for you. Number one. Two is, I think it's less harmful to others, right? Like you've never seen anybody start a fight on weed.
Okay, I get that, but I don't want you behind a vehicle.
No, I think you're right about that. I mean,
I think I think that's going to become less obvious. If people are stoned, if they're high on weed, and they get behind a car, you're not going to know as much. You know what I mean? You can spot a fallen down drunk across the street.
Yes.
but you can't always spot a stone.
Well, I would think at some point, listen, if they make it legal, I think what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a way to track that, just like a breathalyzer test. So a cop pulls you over, you're going to be probably allowed to have so much marijuana in your system. And, if not, you're over the limit. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah.
I'll tell you what, it would solve all of our debt crisis. That's for sure.
Oh, because of the tax on it?
Hell yeah. If they legalize that stuff, they could make enough, they could cut your taxes to zero.
You know what? This is going in another direction. If they could cut our taxes to zero if they didn't waste, if there wasn't corruption.
Yeah, well, that ain't happening.
It's BS. Well,
not happening.
If enough people wake up and start paying attention and, hold people in power to task, it might.
Well, here's the problem. The problem ends up being that the lobbyists are more powerful than you and I are, number one, because they have the money. And number two, I had this conversation with my uncle down the shore last week. You're asking, he was like, term limits are the answer, and no lifetime pay and pension and healthcare. And I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. And while I don't disagree with what he's saying, here's the problem. You're going, hey guys, that pension that you get for the rest of your life when you're a congressman and senator, the health care you get that I don't get, that the money that you get for the rest of your life, we want you to vote against that on the next bill. Come on. That's never going to happen.
Well, that's the problem. We've already given them too much power, right? And our founders said when it becomes about the salary, you have to take it back. Some way, somehow, you got to get good people in there that will. Problem is, they go into Washington, they get corrupted. They go in with the intention, oh yeah, I'm going to, roll this back and do that. And then they get corrupted.
Yep.
That's where we are. But I agree with your uncle because it's all about the salaries. That is supposed to be, and I have a real problem with calling politicians civic leaders or civil servants. I'm sorry, they're not servants. They're getting paid mighty heavily.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, I know, and we really went down a path with that one. So, have you seen The Great Hack?
The Great Hack.
Yes.
What are you referring to? Are you referring?
This is a Netflix documentary that just came out 2 weeks ago.
No.
So this kind of follows. We may have. Did we talk about this with Marty a couple episodes ago?
I don't think so. That was a great couple of episodes last week and the week before. That was awesome.
Yeah, go back and listen to 23 and 24 if you haven't heard them yet. They were really good, and we really dug into a lot of stuff, sort of like this. I don't like getting into politics because I certainly don't want people knowing where I stand. It's my business, and I don't want to argue with you about yours because it's none of my business. So I don't really like talking about that publicly. So, and I don't think I gave away which side of the aisle I sit on. I have issues with the system in general, but on those episodes, we really talked a lot about some crazy stuff like Area 51 and marketing and the people going out there. And actually, it's funny, now that we're talking about this, I'm going to give you something.
What's that?
I thought this was interesting, and I'm trying to think of where the heck I heard this. But there's another podcast called, maybe we can get this dude on ours because I think he's from Philly. Hold on with me. It's called The Confessionals.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And episode 143 is called Storm Area 51.
No.
Yeah, well,
when did he release that?
This was July 21st.
Oh, okay. So he didn't copy off of us.
No.
Nor did we copy off of him. But
no, we didn't. That's true. Because I hadn't heard about it until after we talked about it. But here's what I'm going to tell you.
What's that?
The guy, Matty something, I don't even know his name. The guy who started, I'm looking through it right here. Bob Lazar, Matty attending. He must only be going by his last name or by his first name. So the guy Matty that started the Storm Area 51 website, that's his guest on that episode.
Okay.
So you get a little insight as to. It was kind of interesting to listen to for sure. So it was only I want to say it was like a 40-minute podcast. 30 minutes. It's like a 30-minute podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. So if you go back and listen to 23 and 24 with Marty McDonald, we talk a little bit about Area 51 and storming it, Bob Lazar, aliens, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And this guy, the guy that started this phenomenon, I'm curious to see where it goes, but he's on that podcast too. So it was neat.
Well, after the episode, I was speaking with one of my younger sons about it. And he said, everybody knows that's a joke. And I said, I don't know. Some people think it's real. And he said, well, they got to be crazy.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know. If you look at the way this is out there, people are, glomming on. And he just shook his head. Like, he really didn't believe me.
Yeah. Oh, I think people think it's a real deal. Like, and I think people are going to try to do stuff.
That's crazy.
Wait, I'm going to see if I can find it real quick on here, because while we're sitting and talking, I want to see what he was talking about when they did the podcast on July 21st. It was like 3 million followers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I want to see. I'm sure there's way more now because it's gotten crazy coverage. Rogan's podcast really put it over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what this one is.
When you say put it over the edge, put the storming Area 51 over the edge.
Yes. Yeah. He meant, I forget what it was. I think he posted something on his Instagram about it, and then it just went nuts because he even posted something later. I'm trying to see if they can't stop us all. These can't be it. Hey, where are they at? Events. It's got to be an event. There we go. He said in there, like, I kind of feel a little terrible about being part of this.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know which one it would be.
Do you think Marty felt bad about it?
No, you got to know Marty. Marty does. He's funny, man, because 98% of what he does. Are you friends with him on Facebook now?
I believe so.
Yeah, go friend him on Facebook.
Yeah, no, we are, because we follow each
like
other.
98% of what he does is to shake the tree.
That's funny. It's really funny. When I started on Facebook in 2008, I did that. But I was probably too much of a provocateur because I was going political and stuff. So I just said, screw it. It was no fun. People get angry, and it's like, oh, come on, dude.
People really get angry. Here we go.
Radio. Million. Don't you see what I'm doing here?
That's the whole point, right? In a lot of cases, that's the point. Here we go.
That's it.
2 million are going. 1.5 million are interested. 219,000 shares.
Oh my gosh. And when is the big day?
That's a good question, actually. Let's see. It says September 20th. Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us.
Oh, yes, they can.
Hey, this is great. It's hosted by shit posting because I'm in shambles.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, oh boy is. I can't believe that there hasn't been any marketing on this. This would be a great
I was just thinking, anybody, let's design the t-shirt. Let's sell these million t-shirts. I know a guy.
Here, let's tie it all back. Here's a picture of an alien smoking weed.
Oh my gosh. There you go. They
can't stop all of us. Oh well, listen, I'm not going to be one of the ones testing to see if they can stop me. So I got news for you.
Oh my gosh.
Like we said on that episode, I'm going to get some popcorn, maybe some kettle corn. I don't know how I'll feel that day. And then I'm going to sit back and watch the coverage. I'm going to be on Twitter, catching it early. We're going to be on Instagram, following the people. And then I'm going to be on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News to figure out how many people died.
That's crazy.
I know it is.
Tell you what, September 20th, we got to figure out what day. Maybe we should do a podcast live from a restaurant.
That's actually not a bad idea. I'm going to tell you what it is right now. It's a Friday.
Oh, perfect.
All right. So if you're listening to this and you want to do an Area 51 podcast with us live while we're following what's going on, hit your boy up.
Yeah. All we ask for at a restaurant is that you make accommodations, a nice table, like a 4-seater we need, right? And an outlet.
So and food.
And food, I was going there.
All right. Don't put that first. I don't care if I have power. I want food.
Okay.
And beer.
But if we don't have power, how do we do the podcast? So Gene's simple. Feed them, give them beverages. I'm good with water and lemon, occasional Delco crack.
Right.
Everybody gets offended about everything, Gene.
I know.
So I write about Delco crack on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's not nice of you to make fun of drugs. People have I know. Come on. We all have problems.
People are so sensitive.
Really?
Yeah, people are sensitive. I don't worry about it anymore. I'm past that stage in my life where, look, if you ask me a question or if I volunteer information, if you don't like it, just turn it off.
Yeah.
I can't take it. It's too much trouble to worry about everybody else. Nobody cares about me, man.
They only care to the extent that they can,
benefit.
Or razz you about something that you did that offended them.
And by the way, I'm okay with that. I have people that do that as a hobby. Like I have friends in my circle that do it because it's fun. And I look forward to that.
That's different. But people that are not friends that are legitimately offended, it's just Come on.
That's it. This is the generation we're raising.
So our podcast talks about marketing.
Does it?
Look, you were just down the shore, and I have a question for you. I have a series of questions.
Go.
The fudgy wudgy man or kid or girl or whatever, every day on the beach, it's not the same as it was when we were kids. It was the guy with the big freezer thing on strapped across his shoulder. Now they have the push cart, which is not easy, and they have a gazillion, whatever popsicles inside the cart and whatnot. Dry ice, crazy. But I feel like they could do a better job of selling it.
Well, so, okay, to your point, midway through the week, I was down there with 20 people. And one of my sisters said, don't you think it's funny how they don't sell ice cream on the beach anymore? We didn't see that dude or anybody on that beach all week. Not one time.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Gone are the days of the Bell. Do you remember the Bell?
They don't. I know in Wildwood Crest and Wildwood, they don't allow the Bell. They used
we were in Ocean City.
Cowbell.
We were in Ocean City.
Jersey or Maryland?
Yeah, Jersey. No, Jersey.
I don't know why I thought you went to Maryland.
No.
All right. Okay. So really, they don't let them do that anymore?
I don't know if they don't let them. They just weren't there all week. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Maybe because it was so close to the boardwalk. I don't know.
The kids were out in Wildwood and they were selling, but all they say is ice cream. So I went up to a couple of years ago. I went up to one of the girls, and you know what? Think what you will. I think it's harder for the women to sell it than it is for the young men because they have those booming voices and they're, ice cream, water ice. The girls sound sing-songy and whatnot. And I said, what are you really selling? She said, ice cream, water ice. I said, no. You're selling refreshments. You're selling fun. I said, maybe pitch it a little differently. Am I crazy? Like if I was doing that, and I almost want to jump up and do it, but I don't know how the salesperson will take it. Get everybody on the beach in that little area wherever you park your cart and have them start singing, I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Like do something goofy to attract attention. No?
Okay. I think there's value to that. However, I'm the crumb bum that's got sand in his pants. He would be sitting there going, somebody go over there and shut her up. This is annoying me. I'm trying to listen to my Leonard Skinner. Shut her up. And I'm not really a Leonard Skinner fan, but you get it.
But every now and then, instead of just saying, fudgicles or water ice or whatever, hey, I've got fun. I've got cool. You're sitting in 100-degree heat. I got, 32
I think it's two things, right? I'm a big believer in all press is good press. So if even though guys like me are screaming and yelling, my sisters would be like, stop being such a grudge. And they would get up and go get stuff for the kids,
Yeah.
And we would be talking about that 3 years later. Remember how upset Gene was because of the fudgesicle lady? Like, I think there would be benefit to that. If you change that up, I think people get used to the monotonous noise, even if it's on the beach.
And then they don't hear it anymore.
You don't hear it exactly, and you don't hear it anymore. So part of that marketing scheme would be to wake people up and get them like, oh, wait, what's going on here? Okay.
Yeah, and you don't do the same thing. You mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, but don't be singing about ice cream while I'm on the beach. I'm already frustrated enough. Okay?
I'd be out there saying, my ice cream has no calories.
Oh, then you'd get sued for lying. Somebody would find a way to sue you.
I was thinking of that. And the other thing I was thinking of on the beach this summer, the little planes that go by with the banner ads.
Love those.
Cool. Yeah. Those are fun. So there's this boat that goes by and it has this huge screen with the bill. Yeah. But who the hell can read it?
Oh, why?
Who can read it?
I haven't noticed. Why? Is it small type or something?
Sometimes the boat's so far out and the type is so small and they try to put I can't even read it. And I swear to God, put my good glasses on and everything. And I'm like, I'm sorry. There's no way.
Yeah. Who approved that?
I don't get it.
Right. There's got to be some quality control. If I'm spending $8,000 for you to run that stuff across the beach, I got to be able to see it. Right.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, we just did a marketing piece for one of my clients, and it's a giant 6x9 banner that's going to go up at on a football field. He's sponsoring the football league. And when I sent him the thing, he was like, it looks plain. It's white background and a logo. And I said, yeah, that's the point. If we give people too much to read, or they got to squint to see it, they're not going to use
It's
it.
not gonna. Yeah, no,
It's
you
kind of
got to keep
crazy
it
how
simple.
lazy we become, but it is what it is.
Well, it's not about lazy. It's about capturing the person, right? You want to capture as many views as possible. And this is one thing that a lot of clients do not get. They want to get all the information. Well, you got to say this and you got to keep saying, no, you just have to give them enough of a teaser that they'll remember it.
Yeah.
They're not going to remember all that information.
Yeah, and hopefully it passes 45 times while I'm at the beach 5 days.
Exactly.
That's the idea, and then you get to see it. You get to really consume it 22 of those 45 times. And, they say you need 16 times to see it now to be able to make the decision.
An impression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the decision as well. Wow.
Yeah, right. So I think, at that point, it's like, how many times can you send that thing back and forth? Get it as many times as you can. I'd be interested to hear what some of the return rates are on that.
I would love to. Yeah, that's interesting. That would be another call out if anybody does that kind of advertising. Give us a shout and we'll get you on the program. Because,
billboards on the ocean.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, either boat or plane.
Oh, I don't know where we're going to find people like that. That's interesting. I wonder who does it.
Well, somebody out there. We'll find somebody, because our followers have friends who have friends and so on and so forth.
Right.
And
you're right.
Yeah.
Well, this is weird. This was definitely weird without a guest and being remote. This was an interesting episode, I think.
Well, it's more important that we get one on to remain consistent than skip a week just because it's summertime and vacation time.
Marketing 101, I guess, right?
Yep. The other thing too, let's start telling everybody where we're going to be on August 27th.
Oh, yeah, let's do that, because that's going to be fun.
That will be really cool. We have been invited. Gina and I will be down at the Mushaloo in Philadelphia on Penn's Landing about 4:30. Come out, say figure 4:30. We're going to get there a little early, set up. I know Jamie, who does the PR for Fearless Restaurant Group, would like us to get started before the big dinner rush starts. So we'll get that podcast going. If you're there, maybe we'll pull you in, do a little panel, maybe not. Working on a couple of guests. We'll see.
I'm actually going to talk to Jamie about this, because I have an incredible fundraising idea that has to do with that boat.
Really?
Yeah, I can't say it on the air yet, because I'm probably going to, no, I can't, because somebody could steal it and I'm probably going to have to trademark it.
Really?
Yep. So yeah,
okay.
I'm working with some folks right now to start a fund that will help. It's, I'm saying it now. It's one of those things that takes forever, but we should talk about this in one episode, because I don't know if you know this, but my father died when I was 20, and he was a firefighter.
Right.
And so there's a concept behind it where, just high level, my mom was left with 6 children who went to Catholic school in a row home with mortgages and debt and all that stuff. And if it wasn't for the firefighters that my father was friends with, we would have never made it out of there. So it's going to be called, my father was on engine 41, ladder 24. So the charity event's going to be, not the event, the charity is going to be called the Fire 41 Fund. And it's going to help benefit families who've lost the breadwinner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And part of it is we have how like people do golf outings to raise money and all that stuff. We have our idea, which is what I can't say yet, and it includes that boat. So I'm going to actually talk to her about, when we get this thing together, if she's interested in participating with it. I think it would get them some good press. So if you're listening to this, look out for the Fire 41. Jamie
will listen. She's great about that. Like, she is really think outside the box PR person. So Fearless has themselves a really good communication PR per.
Oh, she's great. And it was funny, because when we talked about the idea, somebody said, we're going to need a boat. And I went, I got one.
I got a boat.
So it's just a matter of her saying, oh my God, that's a great idea, or that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And then you'll find another boat.
Nah, but I can tell you it's not going to be that one.
I know.
I know.
I think whatever it is, it's going to go well. That's cool.
I'll tell you off air so you can laugh.
Who's starting this charity? You and your siblings?
Well, no, it's going to be me. Mm-hmm. So I'm the spearhead of it. I actually talk to my brothers and sisters as becoming like chairwomen, right? To be politically correct.
Whatever.
But I also have been running around with a couple other fathers from where my kids go to school.
Okay.
They've become friends of mine. They're always looking to we go out and drink beers and talk about ideas. And just one day I said, I had this idea. I'm just going to drop it here just in case. Like, I'm going to put this here. I'm just going to leave this right here. And they were both like, yeah, we're in. We want to be on it. We'll help with the finances. We're like, they just loved it. We brainstormed for a while. And so it's going to be, I can tell you this, it is going to be a hell of a good time to do. And I'm just hoping that we'll be able to raise, a couple $100,000 every year and be able to say to people, like, the idea is going to be, if you, I'll go through it and I'll probably put a series together on video so that people understand what the process was.
Right.
But like for my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She had a little bit of work, especially when he was sick.
Mm-hmm.
She was left to deal with things in the house. And back then, if a faucet leaks, that wasn't her job to fix it. She probably didn't know how in a lot of cases.
Right.
But the other piece of it too is there were 6 of us in Catholic school at one point.
Yeah.
She's got a mortgage over her head and our payments.
Tuition.
And I have to imagine at some point she's thought to herself, how am I going to do this? And I don't know if I can do this. Right.
Right.
So the idea is going to be, we're going to be able, this is the idea again, and conceptually this could change. We're going to be able to produce a check for somebody to say, listen, Lorraine, that's my mom's name, right? And your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Lorraine, we know that you've just lost your husband and you need the family time with the kids. We'd like to pick up the next 6 months of your bills.
Mm-hmm.
You can take family medical leave if you need to. You can not go back to work. You can, whatever you want to do. But in the process, we're going to bring in some experts in the field who've donated their time, like financial advisors, to be able to look at what you're doing, where you're going to sit in 6 months when our money to you runs out,
and help set you up.
Like, look at it and say, look, it's not realistic to send 6 kids to Catholic school. So you could send 2. I don't know if that's what you want to do. Maybe 2 of them are in first grade because they're twins in first grade and you're not worried about them sticking with their friends, but the 7th grader, you want to keep there until they graduate 8th grade, and bring in people. I'm sure I can get contacts with painters.
Yeah.
Just people that tell me what you need while you're in grief, right? While you're grieving, what do you need? And for the next 3, 6, 12 months, we're going to handle that stuff for you so you can spend your time with the people that need you the most, which is your family. So,
right.
So that's the idea.
You mentioned this for the breadwinner, but what about if the breadwinner loses the heart of the home? The person, whether it's the husband or the wife who's taking care of everything in the house, take care of the kids. That's a huge thing. Sure, maybe he or she has the income to pay for childcare and help around the house, but there's something there too. We
need to talk about that a little bit. I mean, for me, just again, conceptually, when I thought it up, I'm thinking about designing the charity around my situation when I was,
and I actually, you're right. You're right.
But I'm not. But what I'm saying to you is, there's room for this. Like I said, it's going to change, morph, expand. I mean,
it's going to grow.
Here's what's going to happen. What if this happens? Right now I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe we can raise $10,000 over a year, and then I can present a check for $10,000 to somebody. And in my head, I'm thinking, but what if that's only 1 month's worth of bills? That's not really that helpful. Of course it is, right? But I want to say to you, take the year off. Now, but people, what happens if all of a sudden there's $1 million in our account? Now I have ways to divvy this up to, instead of 1 family, there's 8, and maybe 2 of those 8 are people that don't necessarily need the money, but want to take a trip to where their mom's favorite place was, and she died before they could get there again. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, but that's the idea.
And you'll get letters, and you'll do case by case. I guess you'll have a board that reviews, who's most in need.
It's still so new.
Right.
Thought. So I don't even know how a lot of this runs. Like right now we're going through the 501c3 paperwork. There's a lot to it.
Oh, that's a lot. Well, 2 things. One, there's a charity called Friends for Friends that was started in a similar way. How to help the family who loses a loved one. It's very similar to your ideas. Look it up. Friends for Friends. It's in Delaware County. They've been around for over a decade. I just recently joined. So they do a membership thing. $50 gets you a membership, it's a donation. And then you have the option to help out, write a bigger check, spread the word, that kind of thing. So that's one thing. Number 2, I just want to add, Jean, I'm really glad that you came up with this idea because you have so much free time on your hands that,
That's what listen, everybody I tell that idea to, they're like, great. Another thing you can do for the community that's not going to get you paid.
Yeah.
But it's important. And you know what?
No, it's
when
great.
I brought it up to my family, everybody was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be in memory of my mom and dad. I mean, there's just so many good things that could come out of it. I'd love to be able to help people,
It's what it's all about, right? The more you give, the more you get. And you're not doing it for that reason, but that's the only way to live, just to keep doing.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that possibility.
We could do a series of podcasts with nonprofits and how they market it. There's some really good ones that are small like that, like this Friends for Friends, what you're doing, that are just really trying to do good in the community, and I don't know.
No, I have some friends that started something up in Delco too, and I can't remember the name of it, but there are a bunch of real estate agents that created it, and some of the videos that are coming out about it are really, really cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Sounds like a plan.
Well,
so the 27th,
we hit the 30-minute mark, by the way.
I know, I figure we did.
Okay.
So 27th, you want to come out and join the Marketing RV, Ranalli and Volpe, at the Mushaloo, about 4:30 in the afternoon. All right. Bring your appetite and spend some money there so that they want to have us back again.
Yeah, that would help us actually. It'll be fun. It's going to be fun.
We're marketingrv.com. If you want us to come out to your establishment, doesn't have to be a restaurant, if we could do something where we're out in the crowd and we bring people, that's what we want to do. It's all about publicity and marketing, right?
That's what we keep telling people.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right.
Well, listen, this was wonderful. I'm glad we got a chance to do this remote. I think during the summer, this will happen more often just because we're both flying and you like hitting the shore and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
yeah,
it's convenient.
It is. All right, Jean.
Lorraine, it's been a pleasure.
And how are we doing with our Apple's iTunes?
Pretty good, but get out there and give us 5 stars. We're on Apple iTunes podcast.
Has anybody given us less than 5 stars?
No, I keep telling them that I'm gonna come see them. So
with that threat, we're good. Okay, good.
I think so. Get out there and give us 5 stars. Let's go.
All right, ciao.